Go ahead, go. What? Go ahead, what?
Mr. President, yesterday you tweeted that the prisoner swap between Russia and Ukraine was perhaps the first giant step towards peace. So, do you think the United States should join these talks and should join Germany, France, Russia, and Ukraine within the talks called Normandy format?
I think the fact that the prisoner swap took place yesterday with Russia and Ukraine is a very big step, and that's a very positive step. If they needed me to get involved, I'd get involved, but that's really a very, very positive event that took place yesterday. Well, you're always concerned that it's temporary, but we now have much better legal protection, and we'd have total protection if the Democrats would get rid of the loopholes, which are there. They could do it in, as I say, 15 minutes, if they would get rid of the loopholes and fix asylum, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. The Democrats want open borders. It means crime, it means drugs, it means human trafficking, and that's what they want. And if they want to run on that, they can run on it. But our people, a lot of the people in this country, and I would say a very large percentage of people, they don't want to have crossings illegal. They don't want to have open borders. They want to have a strong border. And I've always said, without a border, we don't have a country. And without a country, I'll tell you what, we wouldn't be, without that border being strong, we are securing the border like it hasn't been before. And when the wall is built, and it's moving rapidly right now, it's moving very rapidly, the lawsuit wins, the legal wins, we've won a lot. And we've won a lot in the courts over the last year. You know, if you look at the beginning where we were losing, we will have about 180 judges approved over the next 3 or 4 weeks, 180. When I came in, President Obama gave us a beautiful gift. He gave us 138 judges that he wasn't able to get in or didn't pick anybody or couldn't get them approved. 138, I took that. And now when you add the other ones that came through attrition and other things that have happened, we'll have about 180 judges approved very, very quickly.
Can you respond to tomorrow's special election in North Carolina? How important is it for your reelection?
Well, Dan Bishop is a great gentleman, a great man. He's going to be a great, I think he's going to be a great congressman. It was a very close race. I think it's getting less close. If you look at the numbers from 2 weeks ago, and I got involved about 2 weeks ago, and the numbers have gone way up, I think Dan has a very good chance of winning the election. Again, I'm not running, but I have a lot of respect for Dan Bishop. I'm going there now to help him campaign. We're going to be doing a big rally tonight, totally sold out, as always. It's every single one, totally sold out. There'll be a lot of people outside trying to get in, but it's all in honor of Dan Bishop, North Carolina. I hope they're going to go out and vote.
Will you meet with Rouhani? Will you meet with the Iranian?
It could happen. It could happen. Yeah. No problem with meeting. Iran should straighten out because, frankly, they're in very bad position right now, and they should straighten it out because they could straighten it out very easy.
You respond to the reports today that say that you have mishandled classified information to Russia.
No, I know nothing about it. I see the CIA responded perfectly. So whatever the CIA said is fine with me, but I heard they responded perfectly. I know nothing.
Your gun control proposal? How soon?
Well, we're dealing with Democrats, we're dealing with Republicans, we're talking about a lot of different things having to do with, as you call it, gun control, but we are talking about a lot of different things, but at the same time we have to protect our Second Amendment very strongly, and we will always do that. Steve?
Why does it matter who's internal divisions among your team about how to go forward on Afghanistan?
Well, my decision was to have a meeting, and I said, you know what, I don't like the concept of having it at the White House. That would be a step too far. There have been many very powerful meetings at Camp David having to do with enemies, real enemies, very big enemies, war, and I thought Camp David would be good, and I still do. The only reason I canceled that meeting is because they killed one of our soldiers, and they killed a total of 12 people trying to build up their importance because they think that's important, except to me it backfired. And they're very upset They feel that they blew it, and they said it loud and clear. They feel they made a big mistake by doing what they did.
Is your administration still looking at designated human smuggling operations at the border as foreign terrorist organizations?
We're looking very much at human smuggling, and if you look at trafficking, they call it. If you look at what's going on with the human trafficking, we're bringing it down to a much lower level. This should have been done for years and years, but we're bringing the human trafficking, as you can see by the numbers, we're bringing it down. Mostly affects women and children. It's a terrible thing. It's been going on for many years, and we're bringing it down.
Are you concerned about the Kim Jong-un? Are you disappointed about Kim Jong-un? He will not keep the promise.
Well, I just came out over the wires that he'd like to have a meeting. I have a very good relationship with Chairman Kim Jong-un, and it just came out. I just saw it as I'm coming out here. It just came out that they would like to meet. We'll see what happens. But I always say having meetings is a good thing, not a bad thing. No, I'm not. Let people go in and help. The Bahamas got hit like no thing that I've ever seen. I've never seen a hurricane it was like a massive tornado more than a hurricane. It got hit like nothing I've seen. Anybody wants to help, that's okay with me. I think it's a good thing. Well, that's always the question. How do you define victory? We beat them militarily, but as soon as we leave, it seems to form again. We would beat them very easily militarily if we wanted to by doing certain things, and I'm not talking nuclear. We could have that over with very, very rapidly, but you'd lose millions and millions of lives, and I don't want to do that. Afghanistan is a very interesting situation. We've been there for 19 years, 19 years, and we're now really policemen in Afghanistan. So what's happening is this. We're talking to the government, we're talking to a lot of different people, and we'll see. But I canceled Camp David on the basis that they did something that they sure as hell shouldn't have done. No, I don't see it as a bellwether. They always ask that question. I mean, you never talk about the fact, as an example, in 18, that we won the Senate. Nobody ever talks about that. The Senate being very important because that's how I'm getting all the judges approved. It doesn't go through the House, it goes through the Senate. So I'm getting all these judges. We'll be up, as I said, we'll be up to 180 judges plus 2 Supreme Court judges. And I don't know if there's ever been a record like that. President Obama gave me a beautiful birthday present when he gave me 138 judges that weren't approved. And frankly, how do you consider that being a great president when you hand to the opposition 138 slots of federal judges, including appellate court judges, and 1 Supreme Court judge? So that's the story. Well, we got 2 Supreme Court justices, and we'll have, in a very short number of weeks, 180 judges approved, including appellate. And that number from 180 will easily and rather rapidly go over 200. And I don't think there's been anything like that. I would never tell you. I'll tell some people, but I'd never tell you. But we have a very specific number. We have a very specific number. No, I don't see it as building. Look, I have to run. Here's what it is. I think we did great in 18 because the congressmen like Andy Barr in Kentucky and others that I campaigned for, they won. Andy Barr was behind. I went to Kentucky. I campaigned for him. I held 1 or 2 rallies. And the great state of Kentucky brought him. And by the way, the same person that we defeated there is now running against Mitch McConnell for the Senate. And he's going to win. He's going to win. Kentucky is an incredible place. They know they don't give up the most powerful man in the United States Senate for a freshman senator. You just don't do it. Kentucky is very smart. They know exactly what they're doing. But I campaigned for senators. We were supposed to lose the Senate, according to some of you. We ended up picking up 2 seats, which was fantastic. I get no credit for that. If we didn't pick up those 2 seats, I just told you we're going to have 180 judges approved. We wouldn't have had almost any judges approved from the point of the election. So we're very happy with the way we've done. The 18 election, the big thing was I was not running. You know, people say, oh, it was a referendum on Trump. It wasn't. I'm not running. People are running. But I will go and help Dan Bishop. I'm going to be there in a little while. And I assume some of you I'll be seeing. I haven't found out, other than when a plane stops at a massive international airport and gets fuel. I don't own the airport. When pilots stay, I own a lot of different places. Soon you'll find that out. Because I'll be at some point prior to the election, I'm going to be giving out a financial report of me, and it'll be extremely complete. I'm going to give out my financial condition, and you'll be extremely shocked that the numbers are many, many times what you think. I don't need to have somebody take a room overnight at a hotel. So what is happening is the following. Every time you find a person landing an airplane within 500 miles of something I own, Mike Pence, as an example, his family lives in Doonbeg, Ireland. And he's actually told me that he stayed there many years ago at the same. I bought it years ago, but he was there before I bought it, I believe he said, a long time ago. But he was in Ireland, so he said, you know what I'll do? I'll see my family. I didn't know about that, but I can say he has good taste. I have nothing to do with that. No, because look, the 3 people are a total joke. They're a joke. They're a laughing stock. And I have nothing to do. The 4 states that canceled it don't want to waste their money. If there was a race, they would certainly want to do that. But they're considered to be a laughing stock. They're considered to be a joke. And those 4 states don't want to waste their money. Having primary campaigns and having a primary election is very expensive.
Have you ruled out a future meeting with the Taliban? Are there preconditions under which...
We haven't discussed it. I'm not looking to discuss it. We've hit the Taliban and our enemy in Afghanistan harder than we have in over 10 years. So I'm not discussing anything right now. Well, one of the things is that I disagree with the Republican system. When you're the chairman of a committee, we've lost chairman because they can't go from being a chairman back to being a regular congressman or woman. When you're the chairman of a committee, the Democrats, you can stay there forever, like Denny Hoyer and others. Was a good man, by the way, but like a lot of them, they're there forever. As a Republican, you get 6 years. What happens after they're finished, they leave, and I understand that. And frankly, there's good to be said about both, and there's bad to be said about both, to use a famous expression. But let me just tell you, I agree. One of the only things I agree with the Democrats on, I really think it's better to have a longer term.
Mr. President.
We have to stop forced technology, international technology theft. If you look at what's going on, intellectual property theft with China, just so you understand, our country is doing phenomenally well. There's a chance, I don't want to talk about it, but over a very short period of time, that we'll hit a yet new record. I think we have 118 records for hitting the top stock market. 2 weeks ago, the fake news was trying to convince people that maybe there's a possibility for a recession. Well, a lot of things have happened, very positive. We're doing very well against China, and we could very well have a new high in our stock market. We have gained trillions of dollars of worth, and China has lost many, many trillions of dollars, including 3 million jobs, including companies that are leaving China. Yes, they want to negotiate very badly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, if the Taliban agreed to a ceasefire,